everybody. Welcome back to Control Over C, a gaming podcast. So we're going to come in hot here. And as you know, I'm Ike, and this is Salsa. So Salsa and I were having a discussion, a lively discussion, prior to this recording. And let me tell you guys something. Salsa's an idiot.
Okay, listen.
Salsa is a smooth brain. So for context, we were talking about anime. Or technically, we were talking about TV shows. Because I have a pretty perceptive brain where I tend to remember at least one or two characters or actors' names from pretty much any TV show, movie, anime, whatever. And Salsa is having a hard time remembering very key characters and elements from TV shows.
Okay. Well, let me just say, I'm perceptive. I am very hyper perceptive. I'm good at, spotting little things and being like, hey, I saw that. Not a lot of people noticed. But when it comes to remember character names, actor names, even whole story arcs, sometimes my brain just resets and I don't remember any of it.
So you have like retroactive amnesia or something.
I mean, it's pretty great because I literally can go back and watch any anime I've seen before, and it's going to feel just as good as the first time.
It sounds awfully sexual. It's gonna feel good like it's the first time. Well, for context.
Yeah, please pass over whatever the fuck you were just doing.
So for context, we were talking about Bleach, which actually, before we get talking about how I think Salsa's an idiot, there's a Bleach game that I had for the PlayStation 3, and I cannot remember the name of it. I'll need to look it up sometime. But it was pretty cool. I remember I bought it from Disc Replay, which was like one of our local game shops when we used to live in southern Indiana. And
hey, they don't need to know that.
Well, neither of us live there anymore.
I mean, you're right. But at the same time, I don't want someone to pick up on my trail.
Anyways, I didn't say specifically where. Disc Replay has like 14 locations in southern Indiana, so I think they will be fine. Plus, they don't know what southern Indiana is in retrospective to where I am at. Obviously, here's what I'm going to say. I'm in northern Indiana, so anything on the bottom 3/4 of the state could be southern Indiana. Hey, happy Salsa.
You know what? I'll take it. Fuck it.
But say what now?
You may continue, Your Honor.
you may continue, Your Honor. Objection overruled. But we were talking about Bleach, and in Bleach there is a entire story saga, which for people who have not watched Bleach or are watching Bleach, this is your official spoiler alert. But there's an entire saga called the Fullbring arc. The Fullbring arc is basically it's about Ichigo. He lost his powers during the Aizen arc because he basically had to merge with his Shinigami powers to create the final Getsuga Tensho, and by doing so, he lost his actual Shinigami powers. And then that being said, he had to draw his Fullbring powers, which was sort of a reflection of his inner machinations. Because he was also part hollow. So, without getting too into it, basically, there's this entire saga of the anime and manga called the Fullbring Saga. Salsa mentioned that one of his favorite characters was Chad from the show, and I simply stated, yeah, Chad has Fullbring powers. And Salsa goes, what? Like, how do you not know that?
I didn't say what. I said, yeah, whatever the fuck that means.
But regardless, it's the same sentiment. But
I mean, as you're explaining it, yeah, I remember a little bit. Like, I remember at one point, main character has 2 swords. Ichigo, that's his name.
Yeah, when does Ichigo have 2 swords? What the fuck are you talking about?
I remember they're both whites. One is longer and one is shorter.
I think you're talking about somebody else.
No, I could have swore. Or maybe I'm thinking of that game. What was that game?
Are you talking about like Soul Calibur?
Nah. It
I was
was the one where you could play as Naruto, Goku,
oh
stretchy guy.
Jump Force. That's Luffy, but yes,
Yeah, Stretch Armstrong.
Monkey D. Luffy. But yes, you're talking about Jump Force.
Yes, Jump Force. I remember it very distinctly. He had two swords.
Are you talking about the right person? Because he only
I'm gonna
has
Google this shit right now. Ichigo, two swords. Yeah.
because for the life of me,
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. He's literally got a big one and a small one. His two swords show his actual strength, the Shinigami, as well as Quincy powers. The shorter sword being the Quincy one, the bigger one being the Soul Reaper power.
So I mean that's from the Thousand Year Blood War. So I didn't know that they included that in the actual game because that's sort of a spoiler for the Thousand Year Blood War because in the Thousand Year War arc he goes up against the remaining Quincy's again. Spoiler alert if people don't know this already, but he goes up against the remaining Quincy's. And we find out that his mother was a Quincy, so Ichigo also has Quincy powers.
Yeah, I mean that's cool and all, but I don't think I've seen that arc.
Well, you probably haven't because it's not been animated. But I mean, quite literally, the I guess Jump Force just is like out here like hitting people with spoiler alerts.
I mean, to be fair, Jump Force is literally like, okay, we're gonna take standard Goku, fucking Ichigo from when he has two whole ass swords, and then whatever the fuck, Monkey Luffy, whatever fuck.
Monkey
Ah,
D. Luffy, what the hell? How do you
yeah,
how are you having
Suki D Dick. Shut the fuck up.
how are you having issues remembering something that I just said?
Listen, the whole point of the conversation is that, yes, my brain erases whatever the hell I watch. Like I said, I can watch a whole ass show and super enjoy it, and I'm not gonna remember anything about it. Like recently watched that. I don't know. It's called Toradora, and it's Netflix has been pushing me to watch it for like 2 years now. Couldn't name a single character from it if you tried.
I mean, to be fair, I've never watched that show, so I really can't judge you for that. I don't know
Like
how memorable any of the characters are, so I've never watched it, so I can't really say much on that one. But
I can name character types. There's the main character who's the son of some punk, like a Yakuza type, and he's got like mean eyes, but he's actually a super cool guy and he's super nice, but everyone's like, ooh, he's so dangerous. Look at those dangerous eyes. And then there's the funny enough, I can't remember her name, his love interest, but I know they call her the Palm Top Tiger. In fact, now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm pretty sure her name is Taiga.
like the rapper Tyga.
Whole ass Taiga the rapper got his own anime. Little did I know.
Right. So
Yeah.
I will stop badgering you for now. But to be fair though, we were also talking like about Naruto, and he was like, what? What's Naruto's dad's name?
Yeah, how the fuck would I know Naruto's dad's name?
Because he's like one of the most important characters in the series. Like I would
Again, Naruto, Sakura, Ichigo,
Ichigo.
sorry, Sasuke, the black hair one,
Ichigo is not in there. What the fuck?
Kakashi, and Shikamaru. Those are the only ones I know.
What actual hell am I living in right now? So what? Okay, but how about this? Because this is pretty easy. What's Sasuke's brother's name?
Odachi.
No, what? He's like one of the main antagonists of I would say the majority of Naruto. Like the majority of Naruto is
what does
based.
he look like?
he looks like Sasuke, except for he's taller, a little bit older, and he has more advanced.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Odachi, the dude with the black hair, wears the Akatsuki robes.
It's not Odachi. It's Itachi. You idiots.
Go fuck yourself. Odachi is a real thing.
But okay, but it's not. At least it's not this person. Odachi may be a real thing, but I'm talking about Itachi Uchiha.
All right, so I'm looking at it right now, and Odachi is literally like a big ass katana.
I'm not saying that an Odachi is not something that's real, but it's not something for Naruto.
You know what? I don't need this kind of stress in my life right now. Like the show on Netflix,
okay.
Violet Evergarden.
I've heard that's good.
It is easily one of my favorite animes because it's a good mix of there's some good action set pieces, but it's very riveting. Every episode literally is a whole arc in and of itself, it feels like.
Gotcha.
You watch, you get your heart broken every episode, but then it rebuilds, and then you're like, God, I'm so hopeful. And then the next episode fucks you up too.
Honestly, that's how I felt with have you watched Demon Slayer?
Oh, Demon Slayer.
It's on Hulu.
Describe any character in it.
Honestly, this is one of the ones that I'm having a hard time remembering too. But it's he one of the characters wears like a boar's head. And he's like super
boar's
angry.
Head, is he shirtless?
Yeah.
And he has like 2 swords?
Yeah.
Yes, I watched that show all the way to the end, where they were waiting for the next season, where they're about to get on the train. And I dead ass can't name a single character except for I almost remember the sister's name.
Yeah.
Nezuko.
Nezuko. Honestly, that show too, not that it's forgettable, but like it's kind of forgettable in my opinion. Now, to be fair, when I watched it initially, I couldn't really focus 100% of my attention on it. And right now, the only way I can watch it is the subbed version, which don't get me wrong, I do typically prefer subbed over dubbed. Not because I'm pretentious, but because sometimes the dubbing isn't very good. And I honestly drives my OCD crazy when their lips don't match. So, you know, when I watched the subbed, I was working as well because I'm a horrible employee, and since I work from home, I watch stuff sometimes. Anyways, and I was watching it, and I just couldn't focus all my attention on it. So I really think that I need to sit down and watch that when I have free time, rather than trying to watch it while I'm working.
You know, it wasn't a bad show. I did not think it was a bad show.
Right.
It was a little boring at times, but I'll be honest, I prefer dubbed over subbed if the dub is available. Because
right.
I still had money. I had a subscription to what are those two called?
You had Crunchyroll and you had Funimation, didn't you?
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, fuck Funimation for all the dumbass shit they do.
Right.
And Crunchyroll, I could complain about them, but not really worth it.
You're like I could complain, but there are more worthy people of my complaints.
Exactly. They could be Disney. So
right. The absolute dog shit of a company that Disney is.
But like another great anime I'm gonna point out, Dr. Stone. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, that's the one where everybody, like, some mysterious disease turned everybody to stone, and this guy like didn't get turned into stone, so he's trying to like figure out how to turn them back into real people, right?
Kind of. It's a little spoilery, but I'm sure no one who's ever going to listen to this has ever watched it because it is what it is. It's a great show, but what happened was an event occurred that turned pretty much most living creatures on Earth into statues. However, the main character, I think his name was Senku, Dr. Stone, if you will. He's a genius, basically. So over the course of literal thousands of years, he maintained consciousness by counting. He literally counted every second for as long as he could until he woke up. He finally wakes up, and then he starts doing tests to figure out how to bring people back. And then the show follows him in an effort to bring everyone back, or at least as many people he can. And it's basically just every new episode you learn a bunch of brand new sciencey bullshit. Like literally in the Stone Age, this dude is creating acid, katanas, a telephone.
A
The
phone.
dude's fucking nuts.
He is what we would call an absolute unit.
Great show, especially if you like, I don't know, how it's made.
Well, honestly, I've heard about it, and I've heard a lot of people recommend it. So I want to watch it because I heard that season 2 is coming out soon, like in 2021.
I mean, maybe. What with all the COVID and whatnot, it's kind of hard telling, but who knows?
Right. But so I'm glad that we got to spend the first like 20 minutes of our podcast talking about anime. That was fun. But we should probably talk about some video games because last time we didn't talk about jack shit.
Yeah, we're real bad about that.
But I mean, honestly, everybody can go fuck themselves, so it's fine.
As I say, it's not like anyone actually listens to this shit, so fuck it. We talk about what we want, and years down the line, when someone finds this to blackmail me, they can listen about cruises and anime.
That's right. But last time, like we said, we did jack shit. We talked about the cruise. We talked about wine and alcohol and basically how badly that we preferred to be on a cruise than in real life. Although,
are you implying that being on a cruise is somehow not real life?
Honestly, it feels like it feels particularly extraordinary when you're on a cruise ship because you lose all concept of time. Because, well, like
it literally sounds like you're saying you get on a ship and you just fucking disassociate.
Honestly, it reminds me of that scene in one of the Percy Jackson movies when the people would go into the casino and like years would pass. You know what I mean?
I see what you mean.
Right.
But you're phrasing it in such an absurd way.
Well, because like, you get on this cruise ship and we're not going to dwell on this for too long, guys, I promise. But you get on this cruise ship and like, for instance, the last time we went on our cruise, we went to New Orleans for a port there. And where we were at in New Orleans, I'm pretty sure was in Central Time Zone. And then the time zone on the cruise ship is, I believe, Central Time Zone as well. So when we crossed over at a certain point, we went back an hour. And then when we got to New Orleans and we did some stuff, we went around, like we went to what the fuck was the beignet place we went to that's like super popular?
Oh.
It's
Mondo's?
1 second. Hey Kayla. Kayla. What was the beignet place we went to in Louisiana? Beignet place? It's Cafe Du Monde. See, my wife remembers these things. I don't.
I'm just like, Mondo?
Cafe Du Monde. And they have pretty good beignets, and their coffee is actually pretty solid. But yeah, we did some stuff around New Orleans, and then we went back to our hotel room, went to bed, got up, got on the cruise ship, and then like, we're in Eastern time zone, so like being in a different time zone, it messes with your mental schedule. So you're kind of always an hour behind. And then not to mention you get on the cruise ship and like you're up for hours. Like, I mean, you're up for extended periods of time that you would not normally be up because you're enjoying, the clubs and comedy shows. So you really do lose track of time because before you know it, it's a week later, you've been intoxicated for approximately 76 hours and you don't know where you are.
I like the first thing you're like, you're in clubs and comedy shows. It's like, what fucking clubs did you actually go to? I
Comedy
just
club.
remember, yeah, comedy club.
Good stuff, man.
No, I
Or
mean,
the piano bar.
I literally, it's like, get on the ship, wait until we leave the port, because as soon as you're at sea, you no longer have to pay tax on drinks.
Hell yeah, maritime law.
Exactly. We get into fucking maritime, and then shit's wild. I just
That's right.
remember being like, all right, it's like
It's
1
like
p.m.
10 a.m.
God, I never got the thing about Bloody Marys. I don't like the taste of all that tomato.
So like, don't get me wrong, I love V8, but I hate vodka. And that's what they normally put in a Bloody Mary. So what I would do is I found that I like Bloody Marias. I love the tequila in it and like the tomato juice. So
You do have a taste for Spanish culture.
I mean, I suppose I do like Mexican food, and I guess that my wife is Hispanic, so I guess that makes sense.
I was just talking about the Mexican food, dude, but you do you.
But anyways, but no, yeah, they call it a Bloody Maria. Obviously, it's kind of racist, I guess, because Maria is I guess a very stereotypical Hispanic name, but they call it a Bloody Maria. You get it with some additions. I usually like to do a little bit of hot sauce because it kind of makes it taste better. But yeah, I enjoyed that. But yeah, I don't normally like basically drinking ketchup.
Yeah, it's fucking gross. Like, there's so many good drinks. Like, in the morning, White Russian,
Tequila
Irish
Sunrise,
coffee, tequila sunrise.
screwdriver,
The absolute fucking goat, which is
oh whiskey
just,
sour.
well, whiskey sour any time of day. You put one of those in my hands when I wake up and I'll drink it. But the greatest of all time breakfast drink is literally just Malibu and pineapple juice.
Yeah, I know you really love the Malibu and pineapple juice. You like that pineapple and coconut taste.
You don't even notice the Malibu. I love pineapple juice.
I know you do.
It's fucking delicious.
For more than one reason, if you know what I mean, folks.
Yeah, it doesn't work that good.
Salsa's like, I would know. I've tested this as many a times.
So is the life of being a scientifically enabled individual.
I must suffer in the name of science.
Suffering from success. Alright, so we should probably talk about, I don't know,
some
something
games.
game related.
So so Salsa, while we get into games, you want to tell them about what we're doing this weekend?
Well, I can tell them what we're going to try to do this weekend, because Lord knows it didn't fucking work the last 2 times. We're going to try and actually record some gameplay.
Yep.
And technically in the process, it's going to involve me streaming. So theoretically, hypothetically, and in a scenario, you could join and watch. Or you could just watch the video we're going to upload on YouTube later.
Yep. So next week, we won't have our typical podcast. We will have some gameplay to put up, which should still be pretty cool. It'll be the first time that we've ever been able to do that. But we found a way to do it. But like Salsa Still Podcast, we were trying to do any kind of game recording. We started with trying to do Warzone. We would play duos. And Salsa, I just want you to tell them how much you dislike Warzone.
I'm going to keep it real, Chief. I'm going to keep it 100. That shit, dumb as fuck. No joke. I don't see what people see. I don't even understand. I can't perceive what benefit you get from playing this game. You know, I already don't like what do you call them? Fucking, well, what is that? Battle Royale? Yeah.
Yeah, Battle
Fuck Battle
Royale.
Royale. Yeah, fuck Battle Royale. I don't like it. I miss the days of you're all on the even playing field, you go in and you kill each other. No pussyfooting around, jumping out of airplanes or battle buses or fucking, I don't know, what say you? I miss the
Battle
days when it
buses.
was exactly. I miss the days when your movements were walk, run, crouch, lay down, shoot gun. You know, I will like, in my opinion, peak FPS
Yep.
is Battlefield 4 and I don't know, maybe Counter-Strike Source.
I was gonna say you got to give
Simple.
some love for Counter Strike Source.
Yeah, they did it right. There was nothing fancy. You couldn't even lay down. You crouch, you stand, you shoot. I like aiming down sight, don't get me wrong, and I love the concept of being able to mount your gun on any surface. It's great. It's about time Call of Duty got with the modern times, but they went too far. They went too
Yeah.
far. I don't want to drop into some random cesspool and be like, all right, fingers crossed I land somewhere where a legendary gun spawns. No, I want what? Fuck Ubisoft. I want what Ubisoft promised Rainbow Six Siege was going to be. If you go back and you look at fucking early gameplay, like the wasn't even gameplay really. It was clearly a cinematic trailer made to look like gameplay, where it's like
Yeah.
5v5 terrorists versus counter terrorists, and it's literally just an even playing field. That's what I want. And what did we get? We got fucking League of Legends the FPS.
I mean that is pretty accurate. I cannot dispute what you just said. That's pretty fucking accurate.
Like, I'm just a cop. I'm just here to save a hostage. No, I don't have some magical device that reveals enemy locations. No, I don't have a grappling hook gun that allows me to go flying at terminal velocity. It, oh, I just can't even. Rising Storm 2 Vietnam. That's a good game. I've yet to play much of it, but so far, it's solid. It does what it promises to do.
Right. Honestly, I wouldn't be as mad with Rainbow Six Siege if it was, even if they had a bunch of dumb shit in the game, but if it was at least closer to what they originally intended it to be, I would not be
Exactly.
as mad with it. Because at least they're fulfilling their promise, but they're also expanding the gameplay. Which again, I may not like the expansion, but at least they didn't bullshit me to begin with. Because I really wanted to play Rainbow Six Siege, and I even will. I honestly I want to give it a try because Salsa and I have worked out getting Games Pass, and it's on there, and I'm really curious. But from everything that I've heard, it's very much a pay to play or pay to win now.
Oh, yeah. It's like if you want a character who doesn't absolutely suck dick, you have to give them money. I don't like I'm fine if they want to make me pay $5 for the cool character skin. But the fact that I have to pay money just to unlock characters who are by default better, like how do I put this? If your game has a meta, quote unquote, where you literally have to memorize the new updates and like what got nerfed, what got fucking what's the word? The opposite
What
of
got
buff.
what
That's
got
it.
yeah buffed? I was about to say it.
Because like in a good game, there is no nerf, there is no buff. It's literally just we put this gun in the game, and it is what it is. I'm fine if they go back and they're like, okay, we fucked up. The AK is a headshot machine with no recoil. Let me fix that. But the fact that they have to do it on a monthly basis and go back and keep changing shit to get it right, no. It should literally be Put it in the game. If it doesn't work immediately, fix it. Once you fix it, done. I shouldn't have to remember what character does what. It Call me crazy. Simple as that.
It's like we've already discussed how horrible a memory Salsa is. How is he supposed to remember what 18 characters are in the meta this month and what are not?
Exactly.
And I would agree. I do think that, I think I'm not saying this in the way it's going to sound, because I definitely still have issues with the community overall. But the Overwatch games, they are in a way a good example of a gaming community that continues to introduce free DLC characters. And then they do have to occasionally go in and say, look, this character is too strong, so we have to make these adjustments. But they typically make the adjustments, they apologize, and then they move on. So,
I mean,
obviously,
they really have to make up for all the fuck ups. So I get, like, here, have some new characters. It's an excuse for all the dumb shit we do. Like, I don't know, allowing our community to be this toxic, or the fact that literally all of the animation they have put together to create a story has far paled in comparison to the dumbass shit Team Fortress 2 did.
I like Team Fortress.
Well, don't get me wrong, I like Team Fortress 2. I'm not gonna play it, but come on. They literally, all the characters are just cartoon, not even realistic people.
I mean, that is fair. I feel like TF2 was more of a cartoon shooter than anything. I didn't really. Here's the deal. I'm not good at TF2. Like, I'll be straight up with you. I'm not good at games that require you to assess the situation and then choose your character by that assessment. Because with TF2, you really have to play the game, and then you have to see, okay, well, my teammates, they chose, I've got a fucking doctor, and then I got 2 spies. Like, I either need to be like a tank or somebody who's got, moderate health. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
But
not
that's,
good.
like, I get what you're saying, but with TF2, it's balanced in a way that you can have a team full of pyros and you could still win. Whereas Overwatch is, we literally will not let multiple of you play the same character because it will break the game. Because some characters are default better.
Right. But honestly, that's why I like, in a way, that's a mechanism that I enjoy about Overwatch, is that, if everybody's playing like these 4 characters, like, I have a general idea of what those characters do and how they work together. But like with Team Fortress, the issue that I always had is that it's more than just trying to figure out what the characters do and how the characters operate. It's more about trying to figure out where your strengths are, because not all the characters play the same. And obviously that's the same thing for Overwatch, but Overwatch, in my opinion at least, you can go in and you can pick up a character and you can figure out the basics of how to play that character with a couple matches. To me, to this day, I still don't know how to properly or efficiently play a spy in Team Fortress.
I think what it comes down to is Team Fortress 2 is a game about how do I phrase that? Basically optional teamwork. You can choose to work with your team and synergize and create a good roster. Or you can all just be the engineer, because fuck it. What's funnier than building a fuck ton of sentries and just have at?
Right.
Whereas Overwatch is compulsory teamwork. If you do not work with your team, you are actively hindering the end result.
And that's what I was gonna say, is it's like required teamwork, because like you said, you in TF2 you can essentially just be a bunch of fuckwits and do whatever you want to do, But in Overwatch, it's almost like you have to work within the confines of your team, because if you just start playing rogue, your team's going to lose. Your score may be great, but your team's going to lose.
Which means you naturally either have to pick up the slack for other characters or have your slack picked up.
Right.
Because the game is unbalanced in such a way that, for example, having a healer on your team is a necessity. If you do not have one, you are at a disadvantage. However, you are then forced to play a character with very little combat capability. And if you don't play that character, the Overwatch community blows their fucking brains out. They will call you a dumbass, Nazi, whatever. They will literally report you just for not choosing Mercy.
Look, I don't. There are much better healers than Mercy. I mean, don't get me wrong. Mercy, I'm not going to get too much into this, but Mercy's a very good healer. But there are other options that I feel like would be better. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's like a robot monk.
Bakugan?
Balls that you roll onto the metal cards
Zendaya.
that expand. That Zendaya is literally a musician and actress. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Not a fucking clue, my dude.
But anyway, Zenyatta, he used orbs, and you can shoot. You also can do, it's called an orb of discord. And then your Y or whatever bullshit is like, basically you heal everybody in your vicinity. But basically, sorry, I just got a text. Anyways, the point that I'm getting to is that, like you said, I feel like with TF2, teamwork is it's option. It's optional, but with Overwatch, it's almost like an implied you need to work together to win. But
it's compulsory, like I said.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. But what was I gonna say? But anyways, too much talking about that. But no, back to like our original topic of Warzone. Don't get me wrong, it was fun, but at the same time, I'm not the greatest at battle royale games. And like Salsa said, if you don't drop in like the perfect spot, like quite frankly, there isn't a perfect spot, because anywhere you drop, most likely there are going to be other people there as well, and basically determining like where you want to drop and what constitutes as a good place to drop. You know what I mean? Like, where is going to have the best items, how likely am I going to run into other people? And not to mention, Salsa and I also figured out that when you play duos, because we were cross-platform, because I was on PlayStation, he was on Xbox, when you cross-platform, you also have to play with people who play the computer version, and the people who are on computer have absolutely, they have 10 times the aim that you do.
I mean, the fact that I got any kills, total miracle. Like, I dropped on the prison roof, and there was a dude there. He already had a gun, even though we dropped at the same time. The fact I was able to break his shield and actually kill him, I literally shot him until his armor was gone. I went up to his ass, and I just started wailing on him. This dude was catching rights and lefts like I catch parking tickets.
Oh shit! I remember that too, because that game. I was trying to figure out where to land. I was like, well, I guess we can land at the prison. And we were kind of watching that helicopter, trying to see if anybody would come take it. And we were just kind of vibing, and there was like 2 or 3 people who were just kind of like hanging out. And somebody ended up taking the helicopter and landing it on the roof and was like watching us, we thought.
I mean, there's no doubt. They had to have known.
But irregardless of that, next topic, Salsa and I, we were back to kind of talking about Games Pass, which I think is interesting because Salsa and I we were kind of fiddling on Games Pass, and we decided the game that we're going to play on this weekend. I'm not going to tell anybody what that is until the day of. Leave a little bit of mystery, but we were looking at Games Pass, and I found some games on there that I wanted to try. Like I downloaded some of the Five Nights at Freddy's games, and I downloaded the Blair Witch game. And I was telling Salsa the Blair Witch game. Obviously, for people who've seen the movie, you're probably familiar with the concept of the movie. But in the movie, basically one of the key components is that when you enter the forest, basically you lose all concept of time and direction. And that's kind of what happened in the game too, is that you're walking around and like you'll be walking in one direction and you'll come upon the same landmark like 4 or 5 times and you're like, how the hell did I do that? And you could be walking in one straight line and it literally just happens. But if you haven't played it, play it because it's actually pretty cool. But yeah, that being said, Salsa, do you want to introduce our next topic?
Shit. I will say, on the topic of what the fuck is don't worry about it. Just my computer wanted me to download shit, and that's always fun.
Download this.
But on the topic of first Blair Witch, I don't like scary games, which I know at some point is going to bite me in the ass because at some point, maybe if we ever get, I don't know, viewers, they're going to demand we play scary games because that's a thing. People love to watch people piss themselves.
Yeah, that is true.
And while I don't like scary games, I respect the Blair Witch because, for one, come on, that is an amazingly programmed game that it captures that feeling from the movies where you can literally walk in a straight line for a mile and you're just going to end up right where you started. And the game does it so well because, like you said, you kept walking in one direction and the distance never stayed the same. Like you could walk 1,000 feet, hit the same truck, then walk another 10,000 feet and not see it, and then there it is. I don't know what they did, like coding magic, but that is genius.
It really is, and that's something that I was even saying. Like, it was making me question whether or not I was legitimately fucking up somehow. Like, I was literally saying to myself,
I mean,
was like,
it is you, so probably.
Well, even I said that. I was like, I know sometimes like I can make stupid wrong turns, and I'm probably doing this wrong. But like at one point, I was like, how can I be messing up so many times consistently? So I was like, holy shit, what's happening? But very fun game, and it's on the Games Pass too. I mean, like it's essentially free, and if you play your cards right, I mean, Game Pass is what, like $15 a month?
Yeah, the Games Pass is absurdly cheap. I think it's like I forget how much the 6-month version is.
Right.
But it's worth it, man, because you get all the games not only on Xbox, also on PC. And gold is just thrown in for free.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, man. That's a deal.
That is a deal. But no, yeah. What I was gonna say too is that like the Ultimate Games Pass, which includes gold, I think it's like $15 a month or something like that. But yeah, you get gold, so that means you get Xbox Live, you get the games with gold, you get all the games on Games Pass, and then in addition to all of that, you also get the EA Games Pass, or EA All Access or whatever the hell it's called. So you get to play all the EA games, so you can play like the Star Wars games, you can play fucking Battlefield. I mean, there's all kinds of cool shit you can do on there.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah! I wish we were sponsored by Games Pass. They should definitely sponsor us if anybody from Games Pass is listening. We'll give you.
I would kill to get sponsored by Microsoft. Like, goddamn, please send me an Xbox. I am the biggest Xbox jockey.
I am the biggest Xbox jockey. I will suck Xbox's penis.
I will make you see things that you have never seen before. I will tie your dick in a knot with my tongue.
Sorry, bear with me a second, guys. I'm writing something down real quick. Typing.
We'll just remember that for later.
I'm typing something. So if you hear a click clack in here,
A clickety clack. Don't snap back. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, he's so mad, buddy. Don't know his dad's name. I don't know. I never actually listened to a lot of Eminem, so I'm just spitballing.
it's there goes gravity. Nope, something. But anyways,
Well, you're not much help.
I honestly don't remember the song that much.
I will say, you know, obviously the first game we're gonna end up playing, like, it's not bad, you know. It's just something to start out and see how it goes.
Yeah,
But
I'd say we're kind of starting slow, but I definitely feel like we have some really. I mean, I would say we have good potential for other games that we can play, especially if what we're trying to do works. Because basically, in theory, since Salsa has a computer, but
yeah,
I don't. I don't have a computer PC to work on.
poor boy.
Because basically the sorry, what the hell are you doing? My dog is being a douche canoe.
Well, don't rub peanut butter on your balls if you don't want him to bother you while you're recording.
Fair. No, he's just walking around. But anyways, bear with me a moment here.
You Gucci, bro?
Yeah, sorry. Something popped up on my work computer here. For folks who don't know, and people who I work with can't prove that I am the same person because I have a different name. But I'm trying to do something here at work is because we're kind of finishing up for the night here.
Well, I'll say while you're doing that, I'm taking a look at Games Pass for the PC.
Actually, what I was gonna say is because I finished what I was doing. But yeah. So basically, what I was gonna say, if I remember correctly now, is I eventually want to get a PC so that me and Salsa can play like PC games together because there's a lot of like cool shit that we can do PC wise. Um, and then so that'll be fun because I know that there's a lot of games that we can play like on Steam. There's a lot of like free shit you can play that's really cool. Um, but that being said, is that until I do, we're basically going to try and stream from the console, and eventually we also want to get like what's the thing called the capture card. We eventually also want to get capture cards so we can capture stuff that we're doing on like consoles, and so there's definitely some future prospects that we're working with, but yeah, it's cool stuff.
I will say there is also the potential for I don't know if you've ever watched the Game Grumps. Are you familiar with them?
Kinda, honestly, I remember I because that's homeboy from Ninja Sex Party, right?
Hell yeah, my dude. Daniel Avedon? I can
I have
never
no idea.
pronounce his last name. Point is, dude's a straight up baller. But something they do on their channel that I've noticed as of late is if they play a game that it's like single player, what they'll do is one of them plays the game while both of them react to it over like Discord.
I got you.
So theoretically, what we could do is I've got a PC right here. I've got a library of 292 games plus Games Pass now, so easily 400 games.
Damn.
Shit. I mean, there's a few in there that we could play that would work that way. Like, shit, I got one right here I just installed the other day. It's called Ken Follett's The Pillars of the Earth. It's
What the hell does that even mean?
Ken Follett is the name of the author. It's a visual novel based on the story. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it looks great. Something to do about medieval Europe. I don't know, man. It's like you choose shit happens. It looks like a game we could play. I also have dating simulators. I did not buy them intentionally. I am not a weeb.
He's definitely a weeb, guys.
Suck my fucking dick.
Second my fucking dick.
How about American Truck Simulator, huh?
You had to really recover from that one, didn't you?
Changing topic. American trucks. You know, we'd pick a delivery route cross country. You know, they'll buy us about an hour on the road.